at night before you go to bed.
What is it called again?
Butt liver.
Butt liver.
Yeah, it's the liver of a butte.
Butt liver. Gonna get some of the butt liver.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the table 4. I'm Robert, here with the fellas. We've been gone a while. Been busy with a bunch of different new ventures. Billy, you've changed careers.
Correct.
Jeremy and you guys have no excuse. Where have we been? What's going on? Why have we been recording?
So we'd like to apologize
I believe
for
it was-
our lateness.
It's an issue of logistics.
Yes.
So we do apologize for all 2 of you who watched this.
17. I told you.
17?
That's right.
Yeah.
My daughter's 4th grade class had at least 6 people subscribed. I
Oh,
think
really?
she may have-
Really?
4th grade class?
I don't think we
Did she
should use
twist
that.
her arm?
I think that Taekwondo skill may have been a little more than the actual content.
Wow,
that
we need
they're-
to check our-
Although they may have liked the cryptids episode, I
See,
think.
it paid off.
Well, one thing's for sure, they would have loved the new episode we're doing tonight, and it's a episode that Billy's been pushing for a long time. It's something
Since
that
the beginning.
I think that we all can imagine, or at least we've all imagined, and that's Lights Out or Lights Out America.
Right.
Billy, give us an example or explanation of what that is.
Okay. Basically, what we're talking about is grid system failure as far as electrical grid system going down, be it whether it's in America or even in the whole world. There's many different ways this can happen. A lot of situations and things that can go on militarily.
Yeah, his name's Brad. He's your neighbor or roommate, and he doesn't pay the electric bill. I've
That
had
can
that
do it
happen to
too.
me. Absolutely, Brad. Sorry. Shout out to you.
Wait, was it a neighbor or was it someone you were just stealing power from?
Again, if he paid his bill, which I gave him half the money for, and some other
Right.
stuff.
But we also
Okay.
have other things.
Uh-huh.
You got EMPs, and then you've got a lot of electronics
Oh,
that
EMP, that's
operate
big,
the
that's
grid
big in
system.
Manchester. That's that dance music.
Your AI computer systems now that are getting integrated.
Electric music pulse?
Yeah. So EMP. So if you've got a
Yeah.
bunch of freaky people outside dancing and shit, yeah. Lights out, America. Is that where you
Well,
punch them? Lights out.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
Lights
Lights Out.
Lights out. That is a great UFO song, Nate. Cue that music.
boom.
But
Video music.
oh my gosh, I wonder if there's
Oh.
probably a great old video.
Oh, you know what we need?
Because that's a lot easier to
It
deal with.
inspires nightmares. Is Dancing in the Street, Mick Jagger and David Bowie. That has got to be the
Followed by
scariest.
Jackson's
Oh
Thriller.
my goodness.
No, I would have to say. I
I
mean,
like Jackson's
I
Thriller.
do too.
no, it's creepy
But
in a
it's
different
scary.
way.
It is
Yeah.
creepy.
Nope.
Well, anyway, so we're going to touch base on different ways and processes and different things that can happen and what would happen if the grid system fails, if we're going without electricity.
Well,
Just
first of all,
a lot of
anyone
stuff.
12 and under, we would have to kill because that would just be
Oh,
the only
wow.
possible way to survive. And I'm not a proponent of murder, but in this situation, for their own health, because they would go crazy without Wi-Fi, as we all know.
Boy,
And I don't mean
glad
that
I don't
in a
have
joking,
kids.
a parent way. I mean it literally. I believe
Yeah.
it is so ingrained
They'd
in their
adapt.
mind,
They'd be
like Black Mirror.
fine.
They would become a threat.
They
And
would-
they would
it
try to
would be, yeah.
overthrow because they
no.
would think it's a lie that Wi-Fi still existed.
Exactly. People
I'm
are
just
worried.
going to say this, Jones. You need to go see the Country Kids Out by Me.
No. Yes,
Because
they're different.
they're
They're
different.
different.
I imagine.
They grew up
Kids
with
are
I
it.
well,
imagine.
maybe not, like,
I imagine, and I'm
between-
sorry for them, and I'm sorry.
Oh, they'll
that-
be perfectly fine. You don't have to be
You're
sorry
right.
for them.
You're right. You're right.
They are perfectly fine. They'll be the ones on top surviving.
Yeah, I agree.
Like
I
maybe
agree.
kids between like 10 and 20.
No, and let's not use the word kill. Let's institutionalize.
Oh, another great
Yeah.
song by Suicidal Tendencies, Cues Music, Nate.
Really? No,
So we don't
it's
want to
not.
go with a culling type thing.
But no. See, everyone's worried about like
No,
zombies.
you won't have to worry about that. There's going to be a lot of things that'll happen where nature will take care of that itself
Natural selection.
in a way, in a natural.
No.
call.
Like what I was saying is here we're worried about zombies and aliens. It's
Right.
no, it's our own kids. They're gonna
Well,
get us.
you
They're
know-
gonna
Well, I
be
want to
the
know
enemy.
I'll
for,
just
for
tell you
me,
what,
or as a,
just-
as a,
again,
as a
I
Brit-
mean,
your average Joe, I would want to know. Okay, so so what's the first thing? Obviously, we lose the luxuries that we have as far as I would assume heating and
Hot
weather,
water.
right? Forget TV,
Any
forget
of that.
Wi-Fi. I'm talking physical changes that we would have to make in our day-to-day lives.
Well, here's what.
It would start with heating.
We'll just go. We'll
people
just
that
talk
live in
about.
the cold, people that live in the hot.
We'll just talk about electricity to start with, okay? Just in it, what it's done for us as a world or as a country, and we're not even going to talk about how we lose it exactly just yet.
And let's definitely not
But
talk about how we got it.
Your electricity runs refrigeration for all your food. A lot of your food's preserved because of electricity. A lot of your electricity, you have food, water,
Communication.
all your main communications, everything. So
travel.
What about
nowadays?
those little water blocks? Does it make those?
water blocks. What do you
Yeah, I don't know. They're square, and you can see through them.
think? Ice cubes.
Ice cubes. Two mix-ups.
I was like, what?
Ice cubes. The Eskimos.
Do people still? Is there
They
ice? that
ship
still
those
ship
in.
ice?
They
That's so
ship
weird.
that in from the North Pole.
I don't think it works here in
Fascinating.
the South too
That's
well.
fascinating.
During the summer.
Well, they used to have
That is
ice houses.
fascinating.
Now they used to have ice houses.
Yeah, they used to.
I asked an old
I
friend, a
agree.
mutual
Oh,
friend
they
of
have
all
that
of
ice
ours.
Game of Thrones hotel. Cue
One
that
of the-
picture, Nate.
One of the oldest guys that worked with us, with
I
all
want
four
to
of
kill
us.
Robert by the
And
end
we
of
all
this.
y'all know who he is, Mr.
Yeah.
Harold. I'm just gonna say his name, Mr. Harold.
Mr. Harold. Third richest
But
man in Camden. Sorry,
He
you
was
told me that. That's a funny story.
easily, 90 years old. I want to say.
That's right.
Young, 90,
90 years young, and he was.
90
That's why,
years
again, he
young.
consistently came to work, and he
Yes.
consistently, I would not say smile on his
still
face,
works. I still
because he was
see
a
him.
grumpy, but he does. He mows his own lawn on zero.
No,
I
Yeah,
saw a
he-
smile on his face every so often.
He was.
Okay.
He
He
was
told
sweet
me
when he was
straight
making
up
fun of people.
where him as a kid when they didn't have electricity.
Right.
I've heard the stories from my grandmother, from my grandfather, who were raised on farms where they didn't have electricity. They had candles, and their life they worked around, and it was completely and totally different than what people are used to and have today. So when you take all that away, the instant panic you're gonna have,
It'd be insane.
it'd be you said it perfectly.
There'd be a lot of people.
Because electricity does so much
be a
in
lot
our
of
world
people-
today.
I will guarantee there will be a lot of people committing suicide at that point. A lot of
Right.
people killing other
Just
people.
in sheer panic. That'd be in the
And,
that'd
yeah.
be in the first probably week. Because
I'd say last at
I'm
least
gonna give
few
people a week. I'll give people a week.
Well, I mean, I
Yeah.
give it a couple of days. I mean,
Well, it
if people
depends.
know that they're not going to have electricity again,
How are they gonna know?
They're
They
gonna
can't
go-
communicate.
the same way we used to communicate, smoke
How-
signals.
I'm going to
Morse
drive
code.
over to Jeremy's house. Hey, dude.
Ham radios? I mean, who does ham radio? Who even knows what that is hardly?
Oh,
Okay, how you going to drive if you run out of gas and the pumps ain't working?
yeah, he's going to ride a bicycle.
You're
That would be
up.
my
Yeah,
next
I
bet.
would be
That would be my
impressed.
next
He's
bet.
going to have
You know-
some massive legs.
Electricity. You wouldn't have freezers. You wouldn't have a refrigerator. You'd have to have your milk would have to be fresh, and most people don't know how to keep milk fresh. If you have a well, you're cool. You can drop it down to a well. The water's 40 degrees. You can keep your milk fresh down in a well
But they're going to have
But people
Chernobyl
don't
still,
know
right?
that.
On HBO, we still have that.
for now.
Okay. 'Cause that, I don't know if you guys have watched that at all.
Go get the
Talking about
hand
lights
crank.
out, they messed that up.
Lights out.
Chernobyl. I don't know. Sorry, HBO. I'm not using your thing, but whatever. Go.
HBO. No, HBO has brought us some great ones, and they brought us some disappointments here lately.
Yeah.
That's.
I haven't got to watch the disappointments.
Yeah, there's so many things. If you look at electricity when it came about, basically with Tesla and
Well,
we're
that brings
gonna
up
go
a
ahead
good
and say
point.
Edison.
That brings up a good point
You know,
because that
Look how far we've gone in 100
would
years.
that still work? Those cars charge themselves, don't they? So you don't need it.
No.
No,
They're
they
not
do not.
solar. So yeah, I mean,
They go into charge.
well, okay.
Dang it.
A little
Yeah,
bit on
we've-
that. I guess it would all really depend on how we lost electricity.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Right
Which,
now,
I mean-
we're just kind of talking about what electricity really does for us.
yeah,
and how
yeah,
it
I know.
affects us.
So I'm just saying, it would really
You're
all
a-
depend on how we lost electricity.
You are 100% correct on
I mean, because there's still solar, so forth, so on. But again, we're going back to the basics. Is what do we use electricity for? Everything nowadays, anything and everything that we do, to the moment we wake up, alarm clock.
that. The industrial age didn't happen without electricity.
Yeah, you can't have your coffee because there are so
industrial.
many
I love
people that.
industrial ministry. They're really good.
It didn't happen without electricity.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, coffee. I mean, we're gonna have to go cowboy, man. Cowboy.
ooh, that is what they call that, huh? You just
Yeah,
mix it
cowboy
old
coffee.
school
Yeah,
style.
You're
Right.
it's strong.
Get that coffee where the
Yep.
horseshoe will stand straight, boy.
But I mean everything from
Medical.
Well, like you said,
medical we go.
I mean,
yeah.
gas.
Well, that would be something right away, right? Because you're talking about panic. So then panic, you're going to have violence.
Generators-
Violence, you're going to have people
Right.
hurt, damaged.
Generators last
Generators,
so long,
generators would last in hospitals and nursing homes for about a week.
Again, it all
Week and a
depends
half.
on how we
And it
lost
does
power.
depend on how you lost power. And the ways you're talking. Go
We're
ahead, tell
talking-
people what you're talking about when they're talking about
okay,
ways of losing power.
EMP is most
What's an EMP?
electric magnetic pulse. Now,
EMP.
And you can get an EMP multiple ways.
oh yeah, you might need to go see a doctor.
Right?
I don't think they want to hear about how
They
you
require
got any
special
multiple
sometimes.
ways.
Yes, and it's kind of funny too because you've got a lot of preppers out there now, and probably half of them are going to
yeah.
be really upset. But I
know
mean,
one.
they go out and they buy vehicles. They're like, oh, this is EMP proof.
You know,
Which it's really funny because they actually did a study, and most of the vehicles today are pretty resilient to EMPs. I don't know how they do the test. I mean, but
depends on the type of EMP.
But I mean, as far as an EMP, say you set off a nuclear bomb, boom,
In the
EMP.
ionosphere.
Well, yeah,
It
that
would
that
take
is
out
like,
more, yeah.
I mean, but as far as power goes,
Ionosphere.
power input equals power output. That's not a direct relation, but you give it more power, the bigger the EMP. There are other ways to create EMPs, but I mean, the biggest one that we know of is of course,
A nuke.
yep, boom.
Which
Wow.
North Korea has
Terminator.
threatened before already.
Yeah, we don't say North Korea.
Oh, I remember that. That was that whole
Right.
like Gangnam,
said it for
Gangnam
years,
style,
but he's proven
right?
it out.
I mean, that's awesome. That's the EMP was
Yeah.
rocking. Gangnam style.
Here's the only thing that's got them all thinking though, is North Korea does have the capability of a nuke now.
But do they
But
have
they
the
don't-
intelligence?
Well, they got enough to blow it up. It don't take a whole lot because all you're doing is setting that nuke, and it wouldn't do as much, but it would do a lot. It'd do enough. If you set that nuke off in the ionosphere, it's going to create that EMP. But as that, all your satellites, as they're coming through, you know how many satellites are out there? As they're all coming through, they're all popping. Bam, bam. You may have a handful of military satellites that are going to be okay, but all your cell phones, all
Yeah.
that's going to go.
So
There's satellites that operate the grid system, and that would kill the grid system. Because once your satellites get hit and they're operating these grids, as soon as you have certain sections drop, other sections are going to drop more than likely. And some of this stuff's 100 years old. Transformers and substations that have
wait,
stuff
wait.
in there that are big transformers.
like Optimus Prime.
Yes.
Wow.
You said they were still gonna have HBO.
And
No, see without
we
satellites.
don't even have the ability to rebuild these, okay? We don't have the machinists, we don't have the engineers to duplicate these things that are 100 or
we have
plus
the
years old.
technology.
Well,
we do not.
To a point.
It would take us 2 to 3 years to recreate.
Yeah,
Wow.
because we got
And
to
that's
where we
serious.
are today by a stair step. As far as civilizations go, they're not just like one day, bam. as far as the civilization ladder goes, I mean, you have to get from one step to the other.
No, I
can't-
disagree. If you go into Houston without power for a week, I think it's going to go bam.
No. Going up the stairs,
Up the
you
stairs,
can only
not down.
take step because you can fall straight on your ass and go.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
and then,
thinking. Okay.
Then you're like, oh boy,
I see what
my,
you're saying.
Yeah. No,
Wait,
yeah,
what are
going
you
up
guys,
the
Are
stairs.
you guys talking about metaphor? What is that?
Yeah, it was a metaphor.
Okay.
That's what they
I
normally
know it's a
call
big thing, but yeah, it's okay.
Wow. So
Do you know
you
where
guys
you
all
are?
predict? You guys all predict rioting right off the bat. And
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty widespread.
I have-
Oh,
I better.
easy,
I've got to.
no.
I've got to stake out my land.
No.
Big massive exoduses
Here-
of people because I would
here-
assume
here-
people that live in extreme areas weather-wise have used electricity, so they're able to survive in those areas.
Well, no. See, on that,
it helps,
it's kind
but
of
no.
crazy too.
Alaska's.
No.
No, they'll be fine.
Yeah,
there.
they'll be fine because the people. What you're saying, okay? It's kind of a catch-22. Well, not a
Because
catch-22.
the energy they use is thermal, or
No,
because
no,
they use.
because
they
they're
go without
smart.
a lot of it.
Yeah,
they use it wisely.
That and I mean,
What
they
they
burn
do have-
wood or
right.
whale blubber or.
I imagine that that's probably some of the native people, but for the
No,
most
no.
part,
No, well,
In
you gotta
Alaska,
think too.
the big towns that have oil people. I mean, that's all
Well,
big.
even with that, I mean, you got to
You still
think their
have your own.
infrastructure is so isolated. They have to rely on themselves.
on those
Yeah,
things.
they're
Yes, I mean,
used
they're
okay,
not.
so you're saying those
it's not-
places will be.
They're not connected
Oh,
with.
It's
other
not like going to
stuff.
the
It's-
center of Nashville, because if you go to the center of Nashville, and all of a sudden you take electricity away, your stores are going to empty in food in 3 days, 3 to 4 days. All the stores will be empty of food. Okay, anything in the store that's refrigerated will be
Rat
probably no
burger.
good or be going bad, rotten. Will be rancid. All
That
right.
bad milk. Let's go
So,
ahead and make some
now-
yogurt.
You take
cheese
balls.
now. Nashville's a small city.
And Nate
Nashville's
Q
small.
Rancid meat photo. You're welcome, ladies.
No,
and
I'm
gentlemen.
getting the rat burger from Demolition
You
Man.
take a city
that'd
like
be better.
Nashville, with its population, and that's a small one, not a big one. When I say big cities, New York, Chicago, Houston,
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought you meant.
yeah, and
Big
Nashville
one.
would even be. You'd have such a hard time getting in and out of there that it would just people would be killing each other. First, you'd have rioting. And then within a week and a half's time, everybody's going to be looking at each other and saying, "Okay, where do I go to feed myself?" And then here's worse yet goes what you were saying with the kids. Okay, there's not anything worse than a parent looking at their child starving, and they're going, "What do I do?" They're going to do anything. If they have to kill you, their neighbor, to feed their child, they're going to do what they got to do to take care of their child. It's just natural.
Or like
It's
that one
human.
character in Game of Thrones, and I don't know if you guys are up to date, but there was one.
I'm not,
The,
so don't
the
say it.
Hound.
Not
No, this
spoilers.
is way before
Okay, is it
any of the new
pre-
stuff. Yes,
pre-
remember
pre-Bad
the
House?
Hound and Arya? They
Oh,
went
yeah.
into that guy's house, and then they came back later, and he is
Oh,
starved,
yes.
and you got to put a picture of that. And he killed his own daughter. First killed his own daughter, then killed himself
Well,
right there.
that's what you were saying. I mean, it was to spare hardship.
Yes, it was to spare her,
Um,
but freaking Hound had stolen. He knew it, and he told him like,
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
people,
But I
these
mean-
people don't care about your stuff.
And as far as I'm going to tell you something here.
Okay.
Just because everybody's always asked me, because of the individual I am, and those who know me, who really know me,
Who
They're-
really know you.
they're always like, "Well, hey, are you prepping? Are you hiding? Are you this?" No, the answer is no. I do not prep. I'm not a prepper. I will not be a prepper, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
You can sit there and prep all you want, and a lot of them are going to yell and scream and holler, say, "Oh, I'm wrong," but I'm telling you, I'm not. You're going to collect all these guns. You're going to collect all this food. You're going to collect all this water, all these
We've talked
military
about this
food,
before.
all this stuff here. Okay? And you're going to have 3 people here to guard it. It's going to be you, your wife, and your child. Okay? Tommy and his gang of friends over here, which is about 20 guys who are fully loaded also with weapons. Even though you have a ton of weapons, you can only fire one at a time.
Put up a target.
So, what are you going to do in that moment? You and your wife and child are going to leave, and Tommy, I'm just using Tommy as a name, by the way, folks. Tommy and his
Sorry, all
buddies,
Tommies.
Tommy and his gang friends, sorry to all the Tommies in the world, are
What
gonna
about the
come in.
gangs?
No, I ain't sorry for the gangs.
Oh man.
Tommy and all his gang friends are gonna come in there and take all that they prepped for. So I mean, unless you have a community.
And for those that are into pop culture, Negan versus Alexandria.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So pretty much to sum it up, what he's saying is what you're doing is you're not helping yourself. You are just painting a huge target on yourself
And helping
Because-
someone else. Have you ever seen Amish Mafia?
No, okay.
I have seen that.
Yeah, we're not. No, we're not gonna
I'm
do
just
that.
throwing it
But
out there.
I side
Amish
with